Welcome to the Lunch Table Podcast, your one and only exclusive lunchtime podcast.
That was beautiful, Justice.
What an intro.
In one sentence.
It was beautiful.
Okay, so I think there's a question we inevitably have to answer at some point, boys.
And what is that question?
What are we talking about today?
I was thinking about talking about fuck Christmas, because it's fucking annoying.
Makes sense.
Yeah, see, I heard you talking about that earlier, like Christmas in October and how much it annoys you. But honestly, that just seems like such a dumb thing to talk about because I really don't care about that at all.
Like,
October.
I have not seen a single person celebrating Christmas in October.
Christmas is like, it's like if someone went up and was like, you know, my birthday's in 2 months from now, I'm gonna start celebrating now.
Well, I mean, who cares though?
Unpopular opinion, just keep up your Christmas tree year round so you don't have to deal with like packing it.
Well, that only works if you have a fake Christmas tree.
True.
Well, yeah. But just
We
get
have
a
a
fake.
real one.
What's the point of having to keep buying a real
Well,
one?
what's the point of having a girl with a real ass?
That has nothing to do with it, but we actually don't buy real ones, we just get them for free, so
See,
it's actually
that makes
cheaper than
more
a fake
sense.
one.
If you get them for free, then that's fine. If you pay
Yeah.
for it, I feel like you should just get a fake one so you don't have to fucking pay for it every year.
And also, there are just people who are like, want a genuine one, you know?
Yeah, every once in a while get a genuine one, but I feel like the smarter thing to do would have a fake one, and then like if you really want an actual real one, every couple years get a real one. Why?
But I feel like the problem is you said the smart people do that.
Oh no, the tree that my mom has practically just fucking looks fake.
You know.
So, Justice, you're thinking someday when you got your own house, you're just gonna have a permanent decoration of a just Christmas tree in your living room?
Yeah, I'll just make it spooky if it's spooky season.
Put a couple jack-o'-lanterns hanging.
That's gonna be so weird.
If it's St. Patrick's Day, I'll just start hanging beer from it.
People are gonna be like, Justice, why the fuck do you have a tree growing in your living room, dude? And you're gonna be like, don't worry, it's fake.
No, dude, I can literally see it growing. Wait, what?
Because I feel like out of the context of Christmas, that's gonna be so confusing. They're gonna be like, they're not gonna think of it as a Christmas tree. They're gonna be like, why the fuck is there a tree in your living room?
So in July,
Yeah.
you're just gonna have like
Point.
fireworks hanging down from the tree.
Pretty much, it'll have a flag on it and shit. It'll just be the one thing that I actually decorate. To decorate the outside of their house. That's so much.
Oh my god, the people who like you go by and you
Okay.
have like if walk by, he would just seize up and die like those houses.
You just buy like a big inflatable thing and it's not work at all. Just put it up.
I have a neighbor that puts up a shit ton of stuff, and then I have a person that lives across the street that puts up a shit ton of stuff. It's annoying as.
The
I'm waiting
neighbor
for my
writes you
dad
a
to come
rate.
home one night and just start seizing in the lawn.
Son, the ambulance.
In case you guys need that at any point, I'm good at faking
Okay.
a seizure.
What?
Have you tested this?
You know, when you're like pulled over and you need to quickly and you have like a bunch of weed on you and you just need to quickly like get away. Just like, my friend is having a seizure, we need to get to the hospital.
That could have been useful earlier. So it really doesn't annoy you whatsoever when someone's just like, "Oh my god, it's Christmas time." Sorry, not to be sexist here, but it's women. You know, it's only girls who do this.
I don't know, there's some pretty feminine guys.
Oh yeah.
How did I know that Nick was gonna say that?
I don't want to name names, but you know who the feminine guys are.
God.
Oh my god, guys, it's Christmas. We gotta
No,
put up the
dude.
tree.
That's not. No one talks
Right.
like
Oh
that.
my god. I've been waiting all year for Christmas season. I love Christmas so much. I watch Christmas movies every night with my parents. Yes, it's my favorite activity.
You guys are not very good at this impression.
I don't know. I think we're pretty smart.
But it's Christmas.
Christmas. Christmas.
You know,
The
in like
hell is-
all the wonderful movies where they're like, "But guys, it's Christmas. We can't fight."
Yeah,
The-
that's just.
I feel like there
catching up
probably
there.
is one. I'm gonna look this up. A Christmas horror movie. That would be great.
It's called Nightmare Before Christmas.
No.
Dumb shit.
Oh, that's not really a horror story.
What? A Netflix scary movie is under the horror section. I think Nightmare Before Christmas can therefore technically
There's
be a horror
plenty of
movie.
them. Black Christmas. That
So
just sounds
there's-
racist.
That doesn't sound racist.
The
Shut up.
the first
Didn't we watch like a scary Christmas movie in like sixth
I don't know.
grade?
Oh.
Don't you guys remember that? It was like this monster that was like trying to kill
Krampus.
people.
Um,
Yeah, that one.
Krampus. I don't know. It's Christmas.
Ray, you missed your opportunity, okay? You missed a big opportunity. I tried to get you to come out to the barn one day, but you didn't. So, I went to go hang out with H one day, right? Well, I'm just like walking along, and I went the usual way that I do through JC, because he was at your house, of course. But all of a sudden, he comes running up to me.
Oh yeah, dude, my mom saw that. She's like, but she didn't know what it was. She thought it was like a branch from a pine tree. She's like, Ray, why is H sprinting up our driveway holding a tree branch? And I was like, that sounds exactly like something H would do, and I didn't think anything of it.
Okay. Like, where did he get it? Did he just find it in your like forest?
I'm gonna tell you this. H comes running up to me, right, with a weed leaf, and goes, not like the whole plant, and goes, dude, there's weed plants in the construction cones on Main Street. And I
What?
went, we walk over, dude, almost every construction cone was filled with
Oh my god. How stupid do you have to be? Who did that?
I-
How did I not hear
Were
about
they-
this until now?
Were
I
they
don't know,
growing
bro.
under the cone or what?
It was some funny shit. No, they were like just kind of like the branch. They were like cut up like weed plants, basically, but it still had
So
everything
what you're
on
saying
them.
to me right now is that some drug dealer had thought the greatest idea was to hide their weed under construction cones.
Hidden in plain sight, man.
Well, what happens when the construction workers go to work? You know? I feel like
That's really, I did not know it.
they like were missing some logic here. Like they forgot, oh wait, that's the thing. Construction workers work.
Probably mostly CBD.
I just can't believe someone out of all places would hide it under there. Like, how did H find it too?
Yeah, that's a good
It
question.
wasn't hidden under it. It was sticking completely out. Like they just left.
So
the
Hayden
branch
just like
in the
walked by and was
cones.
like, just did like a double check.
I really want to know who did this.
Me
This is
too,
like an
man.
overarching mystery where we're gonna have to keep making updates on it.
I
Mm-hmm.
You
know.
realize that there's a police station like right there, right?
This person just must be really
It's
stupid.
probably like,
They must just be like, yeah, probably.
God, he's been to the courthouse enough that he's
Maybe,
right there.
or maybe they put them there just to be found. Like maybe they just threw some seeds in there and they're like, this is gonna be funny.
Well, no, it wasn't the actual full ass plant. It was like the cut up. So like someone literally like harvested it and
Well,
then
maybe
just
that was like
tossed it
the
in
bad
there.
stuff of it.
That is
Mhm.
very possible.
Basically, they just didn't know what to do with it probably. So they're like, I'm just gonna throw it in here. It's fine.
So I wanna change subjects quickly because I just got something I think we should talk about. So there's this girl that I've had on Snap, and like I'm not even like talking to her, and then out of the blue, like last weekend, she was like if you have a bank account, hit me up as soon as possible. And I was like, what? What you just say?
Nicholas's Jewish instincts kicked in and he had to run away.
Yeah, and I was like, no, this is not good. And I was like, I was like, why do you want it? And she was like, send me your bank account as soon as possible. And I was like, no. And then she was like, okay, fine, bye then. And she just snapped me again, and she's like, must have a mobile phone number. Hit me up as soon as possible. And I responded with, okay. And now she asks, what's your number? And I want to kind of give it to her to know what's going to happen next.
Nick, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I don't think that's who you think it is. It's probably some scammer.
What are they going to do with my phone number, though? It's just a number. Like, my phone number won't give them access to anything. I just like, what is she gonna do with it? I'm curious. I'm gonna ask why, and she's probably gonna give some random roundabout answer, but like, this is a weird chick. Should give you guys her snap. Like, out of the blue, too. Like, I've never talked to this person. Maybe she owes her drug dealer a lot of money or something. I don't know.
Can I have your bank account? Like, they didn't even try to scam you.
No
We're just
effort was
pulling
put
it out.
in.
Yo, can I
They
get
didn't
your
even
bank
like try
account?
and ask a security
She
question.
probably just
Like,
thinks, Nick,
what is your favorite pizza flavor? Like, they weren't trying to get the security question to get in. They were just going for it. They were just like, what is...
Nick, maybe she just thinks you're that stupid.
Honestly, I was like, is this girl gonna love me if I give her my bank account?
You should have given her a fake number.
Isn't that what all women want?
No, that's how you become like.
Bro, Nick with his balding head and shit, he's gonna be a sugar daddy at like 20 years old.
I'm gonna hit up some other college age girl, and she's gonna be like, it's gonna be a price
your
for a
sugar,
50-year-old.
Nick, your sugar baby's gonna be older than you, Nick.
No, I'm gonna hit up some like 20-year-old girl, and I'm gonna be like 22, right? And she's gonna be like, it costs for people your age to be able to talk to me, and I would be like, but I'm your age.
Wilfong, you have Benjamin Button disease. It's the only explanation.
It's not that bad. It hasn't got that much worse over quarantine, you know?
Every haircut you actually get, the less hair you come with.
That's why I didn't get a haircut for like 9 months.
But it doesn't matter, man. You gotta get a haircut eventually.
I don't know about that. I could have hair down to my knees.
Oh god, it's gonna make it so much worse.
I don't think your hair is capable of that.
Bro, he's
Yeah,
gonna be
it
one of
might
those
just
people who's
staring
like
out
the
your
top of their
head
head is
so
completely bald and he just has long hair in the back.
I'll be
Like
able
that-
to like
like that,
bend
like,
over a little
low-key-
bit, and you'll be able to see your reflection within my head while I
Bro.
have like 2 feet of hair on the back of me.
You guys know like the janitor from Harry Potter for like Hogwarts? Probably not.
Filled-
Yes.
The key
Oh
master.
god.
I feel like that's what Nick's gonna look like, bro. With the cat.
That is Nick. Perfect name for what's gonna fit how you look is Rumpelstiltskin.
No. I'm just gonna become extra rich so I can pay the girl like $200 an hour.
Bro, someone's
you
gonna
go.
be like, "What do you think his name is?" And someone's just gonna be like, Rumpelstiltskin.
You're gonna say the word it's not even gonna be his name, you're gonna say the word Rumpelstiltskin and everybody's gonna know who you're talking about.
Exactly.
Or you know what I could do? So
Doesn't matter if they know him or not. They're like, "Yup, I see it."
So there's this one like Italian soccer manager, right? And he got surgery that replaced his hair on his head that he was losing. They took his hair and they put it on his head. And that could work for me. That could really vibe, you know, because I've got the hair down there. I'm just waxing it up.
Uh,
Imagine, okay, the amount that you would get made fun of for that. Just be like, how
yeah,
does
you
it feel
better
to have ass
you
hair?
better keep that information to yourself if you do that, Nick.
But like, okay, well the funny part is about like they don't. It's not confirmed that this happened. It's just like they like found documents of the surgery, and it's like rumor and still. And like one of the players on the other team went up to the manager and like tried to pull the hair off of his head to check is it with a wig. I'm pretty sure the guy got suspended, but totally worth it. Yeah.
Bro, you think his hair is real? Nah, man, you heard the stories. That's fake as shit. That's his ass hair. Some other dude, nah, it gotta be real. You see how good that is? There's no way they could have done a surgery that good.
Hey man, if you condition your ass hair enough, it starts to look good.
True. Oh my god.
All it takes,
I
all it
bet
takes is
there.
some high quality shampoo.
I bet there is full shampoo.
Whoa. Is no one gonna point out the fact that Wolfong just said true?
No.
Okay, we're on Reddit right now. Is it bad to put shampoo in? Worried it could cause a reaction or something. Should be fine. Soap would work better.
Wolfong, you realize what you're saying, right? You're not
Yahoo
saying what you
Answers.
think you are. You're saying putting shampoo inside your asshole.
Use an enema, dude. And some laxative and a scrubbing dildo. But if there's one thing I learned from Reddit, it's use a flared base. Why is it dangerous to use toys without flared bases for anal play? I know that without the flared base, the toy can slip in,
Oh,
but it cannot. Oh, I see what it is. So when you stick the big dildo up your butt, it's
God.
like
Stop talking.
the end
Just
of it,
out.
so it doesn't go all the way in and get stuck. Yeah. So it's preventing you from getting stuck. So basically, you know, like those back scrubber or like toilet like scrubber things, you know, with the like scrubber base. So basically, what I'm imagining right now, it's one of those, but for your butt with like a big old like circle on the end, so it doesn't go all the way in.
God, what is this conversation?
So, next topic.
I feel like
Don't care what the
me
topic
and
is
Nick,
as long as it's not flared
Nick,
bases.
just so you know,
Anal play.
me and Justice did not consent to this conversation.
That's fine. That's fine.
That was not. That was not. That was not a topic that we agreed to go on. That was all Nicholas. Okay. Just want to make sure anyone listening to this knows that.
You know, sometimes you just have to just go with it. Just flow with the conversation.
That works in most situations, but once you start talking about things like that, it starts to blur the rules
Watch
a
how
little
if this gets demonetized, it wasn't because we talked about weed. No, it was because Wilfong talked about anal play and flared.
Hey,
I
I
feel like
would.
I feel like that's going to be a recurring issue.
Okay, that was not sexual. That was all about health of my bumhole hair.
Right. Yeah, we got from
Your
balding to Nick.
ass hair has
That's quick.
nothing to do with the inside of your ass, Nick.
Well, I didn't want to go there. I tried to search up like just shampooing your butt hair, but then it kind of just.
You know, you could have just not said anything. You could have just been like, "Oh God, that's not okay," and then just continued on with life. But no, you decided to continue to tell us because clearly this is an interest for you. You're like, "Oh, that's why my cucumber keeps slipping in."
Just because
It
I
needs a
work at
flared
the
base.
grocery store does not mean I use cucumbers like that, okay? We don't make assumptions.
Oh, God.
Nah, assumptions are what keep you alive. It's why I don't go next to white vans, because I have assumptions about them. Do I want to be kidnapped? No.
Well, you can go next to the white van, you just don't take candy from the white van.
You don't go next to it either. Only
If
time
you're
they
next to
ask
the
about
van,
candy
it's already
is
too
if you're
late.
next to the van.
You've never wanted to live on the riskier side of life?
Not when it comes to being
No, I
molested.
didn't want to live on the sex trafficking. daily side of life.
Honestly, though, does that sound? You guys are friends with me now, and like, so you guys were good because I'm or like I'm child repellent, not child. Well,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
child
Nick's
repellent too, but I'm
Nick
child
is
predator.
Nick is our repellent.
So then, since I'm child predator repellent, then you two are good as long as you're by me.
But see, Wilfong, we're not children anymore, so we don't have a use for you. So we're just gonna get rid of you now.
So how do you guys feel about online school? I guess
I hate it.
I
I'm like about to fail like all my
I
classes.
feel like that's everyone, and I feel maybe, hopefully, if we're lucky, the school will realize everyone's doing worse than they normally do, and they'll make it like pass fail or give everyone like 10% extra credit or something.
Well, here's the thing. At this point,
I don't think
I've
they're
already
going
applied.
to.
At this point, I've already applied to like all the colleges. So my hope is
Yeah,
that I'll get accepted. I'll get accepted into all of them, and I could just let my GPA plummet.
yeah, it's me too. Like I've applied, and Dr. Horndog has uploaded my transcript to all the colleges already, so like
Yeah.
I should be good.
Shit, I gotta do that. I forgot.
Bro, like most early applications end like in 3 days, Justice.
Yeah, I know.
That's new. Oh god.
Yeah.
I don't know, what's the worst part about online school? I can't pay attention for like the whole 40 minutes of just like
Yeah.
nonsense.
Is it bad that I don't even know how to apply to a college?
It's not that hard. Just literally look it up online.
Most bigger schools use like Common App. It's like a website. It's useful. I did like all my applications besides one on there.
I literally just looked up like application admissions. I just clicked on it, and it's
Oh.
really easy.
Is that the only one you applied to? Oh.
But I'm probably gonna go to scholarships and shit for pole vaulting.
Oh, that's good. That's fun. Justice, what about you? Where are you applying?
I don't know. I was probably gonna go to like.
I don't think it's fit for you.
I don't think it is either.
I lean to the left. I lean to the left. I don't jump off the cliff to the left.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See, that's like before he jumps off the cliff to the left and then gets in a boat on the bottom of the cliff and goes to the edge of the universe to the left.
Oh god.
You know what he told me?
Did posting the pronouns on their doors change him?
Yes, apparently. Because I mean, he believes in all that stuff now.
Wait, you know what? That doesn't surprise me, Nick. You know why?
Because he's special.
He was talking to that.
Because he's a crackhead.
Remember, he used to talk to that one girl all the time when he was in high school. Yeah.
The one who looks like a Halloween decoration now?
Yeah. That's probably where this all started, I'm guessing.
No, it wasn't that bad. Because when he came back for state wrestling to help me, he was like explaining something, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry if I was mansplaining that." I'm not even a woman. What? Doesn't make any sense.
Justice, please don't go there.
I was just like, I'm just gonna try to apply to a bunch of shit and see what happens.
Well,
Dude, affirmative action is so stupid. Like, I don't even know how that can be legal.
Well, it's reverse racism.
Yeah, no, it's literally just racism.
Well, it's not. If they want equality,
you're choosing someone over someone else purely because of their race. How is that not racist?
Guys, did you learn nothing from? Black people can't be racist. Okay.
Oh my god, not that.
No, I don't know. My thoughts on it are always, if it's equality, well, why? if it's equality that you're after, why put genders in the law and why put race in the law? Just exclude those words and everything is applied equally to everyone. And that's equality to me. But other people think because we had advantages in the past, we have natural born advantages now. So then we
Okay.
need to be pushed lower than them to make up for those
Your
advantages we have.
But here's the problem with
completely
that though.
invalid.
Here's the problem with that though. Not every black person came here during slavery.
Black slave holders.
This is the thing. The fact that they're grouping them purely because of the color of their skin and not their backstory or their ancestry is what makes it racist. Like, if you said, oh, okay, we have proof that you were a slave at one time, or you come from a family of slavery, and we have proof that you had disadvantages over everybody else, so we're going to give you an advantage now. Or maybe
That
get some
makes
government funding. And see, okay, that makes sense. That's a proper reparation, but that's not what they're doing. They're just saying, oh, you're black, so we're just going to give you free shit just
it's
because you're
almost
black.
like
Kind of
it's
evil
like
if
you
you
know,
think
if you have a veteran in the family, you tend to get more money. Like my grandpa is a veteran. Well, was a veteran. He's dead, but he was a veteran. So, like, then when I'm applying to school, I get quote unquote maybe some advantage from him
Yeah.
being a veteran. So
Makes
then
sense.
that, but like, I don't know. So, like, there's got to be more to
Obviously,
it.
it's hard. Obviously, it's going to be hard to prove that someone was like involved in slavery, but I'm sure there's some way to do it. And literally, just the way it is now,
Ancestry.com.
the way it is now, it just seems blatantly racist.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I don't.
kind of double racist if you think about it, because it's racist about the fact that they're grouping people by the color of their skin and by the in the fact that they're minorities, but then it's also racist that they're therefore giving them an advantage over every other person of any other color.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I get where they're coming from that they had like falsehoods in the past, but really, if you look at the laws now, you don't have a disadvantage. The only quote unquote disadvantage is if you
History.
were, yeah, that like they haven't had the same advantages as long, so they need an extra push, pretty much. And I don't think that's true. I think it should just be how hard you work because, I'm going to school. We're all going to the same school. We're all getting the same choices as the minorities in our school. So why, if I work harder than one of them, should
See,
they get an advantage
here's
when
the thing,
applying
though.
to college?
That's the thing. See, and there are a lot of people who really aren't affected by it anymore, but they're still getting advantages. Like at our school, there's really not any sort of like extra poverty towards African Americans. You know what I'm saying? We're in
Yeah.
the same situation. We're fine. Obviously, there are places where that's different. Like, there's black communities that are just extremely impoverished. And
Well, like the bad
still,
side of Chicago, like the south side of Chicago, has like it's hard to escape that area, and like I
yeah,
understand that completely.
Well, there's also the simple fact that even if someone is impacted by racism, it's not always going to actually impact what opportunities they receive. So, yes, you can be around a bunch of racist people, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get a job. The only time that it really affects you is if the person that is giving you the job is in fact racist and stops you from getting that
yeah.
job or having any opportunity
We're not
in
even
that
we're not even
job.
talking about racism. Like racism doesn't even apply here. This is just straight up like the disadvantages that history has brought some people.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah, I'm just like
African
over
Americans are like
time.
have like the lowest income out of any other race in the United States, and
Well, yeah.
a lot of that probably comes from the fact that they have a bad history, but not all of them, right? That's my premise. Like the fact that you're grouping them together as black people and that's how you're giving the advantages that doesn't seem right to me.
It has to be based
Well,
on their background, not their
is-
Yeah,
color.
exactly.
if the excuse is that there was slavery, there's also the simple fact that a lot of people are impoverished not because of slavery, but because they have been impoverished because one person in their family along the line became very poor
Exactly.
and still had
But they're still
It wasn't
reaping
that they were
the
enacted from
advantages though because of
slavery
the color of their
like
skin.
that.
So they're just melting in with all the other African Americans who actually are impoverished because of slavery, and they're still reaping the rewards because they're just a black person who's impoverished. And also,
Yeah.
you know, it's not just racial it's not just racial profiling that's giving people advantages. It's also other things like, you know, people often try to admit women to certain things too, because I don't even see where they have a disadvantage.
Well, they were not allowed to be educated and stuff and things like that. Like, they were
Yeah,
forced in the house.
but they're not like a separate race of people who like is going to be at a lower income level because of that. Like,
Well, because
the fact that past women not being educated doesn't affect women now.
the wage gap is what they say, because there's inherent sexism, and the wage gap
That's the thing. That doesn't
is
exist.
something that cannot be proven. It may exist, it cannot be proven, because there's no way you can put a study that will put every single factor into place. There's been studies that prove it don't exist and that it do, but they're all excluding factors that could apply to their wages, so that doesn't work. Like,
Exactly.
Well,
if your boss
another
feels good about you and how you're working, you're more likely to get a raise. It doesn't matter. So, and you can't like apply.
That's the thing. I hate anything that tries to just use inherent anything as an argument. Like, I don't believe that there's systemic racism or systemic sexism at all. I don't believe that. I just don't buy
There
it.
definitely is people who are racist and
Yeah,
sexist.
there's individuals, but the majority of people definitely are not.
Well, the big problem is just that you can't have systemic racism when there's literally like 5 different laws preventing racism and sexism. They had a big jumble about how, oh, Congress needs to stop racism and prevent this from happening. They can't. There's already every single amendment in law in place trying to prevent that. They can't add another one at this point.
Let's say I'm the racist person. You can't stop me from looking at someone and not liking them because they're black. I don't think that way, but there are people that do. So you can't stop anyone's mindset.
Yeah.
You can't just
They have
make
the
a
right
law
they have the
that
right
you
to believe
don't
they have the
have
right
the
to
right.
believe what they want. They
Yeah,
have the
they
right to
can't.
be racist.
They can't
You
like
just can't
act
act on
if
it.
that makes sense. Yeah, you can't like go up to them and like be like rude to them and call them the N-word or whatever and be racist, but you can actively like try and disassociate yourself from them because of their race. And
I
that
think
is
that already
wrong of
happens.
people to do because it shouldn't
Society.
have anything to do with that, but that's just how some people are, and you can't change that.
I think it's more the one thing that you can't do is act upon your racist beliefs and physically hurt someone, and you also can't use your racist beliefs to like stop someone from being able to continue their life or continue like if someone's a business person and is racist and stops someone from getting a promotion, that's something you can't do.
Mhm.
Can you talk about being racist? Can you actually physically like call someone the N-word or say something like that? Yes.
See,
There's
that's the
nothing
thing.
that can prevent you from
There
doing that
doesn't
because
even
it's
need
free
to be a law to prevent people from like talking or just showing their views on being racist, because society already rejects racist people.
Well,
Exactly.
that
As
is
soon
true,
as soon as someone
but
as soon as a major business owner or like any sort of person at all who's important decides to come out as racist, they're immediately like boycotted, and everyone hates them.
okay, have you seen The Boys, the show The Boys?
No.
No.
Okay, so basically, in the end of season 2, a character is revealed that they were a former Nazi, and basically they were super popular in the people's eyes as a right wing person. That's what they were. But they didn't like. No one knew they were a Nazi. As soon as they knew they were a Nazi, fucking everyone hated them, and that's what happened. As soon as someone comes out as racist or like part of the KKK or whatever, society now rejects them, and they're just like off on their own. So I don't know what more you can do. Like, you can't just lock someone up for, like, is that what they want, to just put people in prison for having that mindset?
Yeah, you can't do that.
I
And
mean,
that
Well, there's
that
also the
will and
problem
should never
of
change.
someone who could have been before racist, and it comes out that they were a racist like a long time ago, and now they might not be, but then everyone just decides to be like, no, they were racist like 40 years ago or something. So therefore, we cannot have them in society.
well, Mark Wahlberg, I'm pretty sure something came out about that in like 1980 or something. He had like a racist incident, and like the court files came up from it. Like that was 30 years ago. The culture was so much different then. You can't. I don't think those can apply to today then.
Yeah, things have definitely changed. It was socially acceptable
Yeah, I
almost
don't
to be
think you can.
racist that long ago.
And even if society has changed, he's changed as a person in 30 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you can't. He probably has, and even if he hasn't, as long as he's not acting on his inner feelings, like it's fine.
Well, it's like the same thing as like, you know how everyone has that racist grandfather or great grandfather?
Yes. It's my
Exactly.
mother, but
It's like every person in the family doesn't like straight up tell them that it's wrong or like try to like
There's no change in
stop
their
them
minds.
from having that because that was the time they grew up in.
Yeah.
That was what their normal was.
well, yeah, like I remember.
How can you exactly prevent their entire way of life that they've lived for like 80 fucking years just now?
And they're not doing
Yeah,
any harm, so
my grandma, we were sitting in the car because it was raining and we were watching Zach's soccer game. She just turns back to me and she says, why are there so many N-words on the other team? And I was just like, well,
just taken
My
aback.
grandpa was watching football and one person was in it like made a fumble or something and he was black and he was really drunk at the time and he just goes, "That's why N-word shouldn't play football."
Oh
I was
god.
like, whoa there,
My
buddy.
grandparents have never really said anything like that. I'm pretty sure they're normal, but
they're pretty good.
there
Well,
was one thing my grandma told me that kind of was a little bit unsettling. Like we were talking about wrestling, and she was like, "Oh, they have women in wrestling now. Women just should not be in wrestling. That's not something women should do." That's like the closest thing to old person logic I've ever heard from any of my grandparents.
like my grandma is like 92, I believe now, and her husband that's dead, it would have been 100 if he was alive, so they're quite on the old side.
Yeah, my grandma's like 80 something, close to 90, I think.
My great grandfather is in his late 80s.
Oh my god, Justice, your family is so young. Jesus Christ.
I know. My grandpa, I could consider a racist, and he's only like in his early 70s tops, I think.
Wait, okay, so he's in the early 70s, and your great granddad is in his late 80s?
Yes.
Basically, everyone in Justice's family is a teen pregnancy.
Pretty much. Not gonna lie.
So Justice's family was basically the
late 60s, early 70s, and my great grandpa is in his late 80s. So that would mean that they have like maybe a 20-year difference tops.
So did you guys attend the pep rally the other day, the virtual pep rally?
No,
Okay, I have a really big quarrel with that.
I didn't even know that happened.
With like cross country going on and why we can't have school. Cross country, they don't wear masks when they run and they're right next to each other, right?
Well, it depends on the meet. It depends on where the meet is happening.
They're not allowing us to go back to school.
So basically, it depends on the
Runners
meet.
be like each other with no mask.
So what's happening
And
with the pandemic for in Dane County? Because Cambridge, when we practice, it's outside of Dane County, so it's different restrictions, and we're able to be closer to each other without breaking the rules. But we've had a couple meets in Dane County, and what they did is they spaced us out by like 15 seconds. So like one person runs at like 0 and then 15 and then like all the way through that way, and they had a couple breaks in between of like 5 minutes of time just to separate kids more. So like you will have the occasional contact, but it was very small. But then outside of Dane County, if we're gonna talk about the election at all, we should probably talk about it now, but because the next time we
should
record,
talk about it after the election happens.
well, does anyone have any predictions?
Biden's gonna win.
Honestly, I'm
That's
not
my
sure
prediction.
who the fuck is.
I swear Biden's
All that I
gonna
know
win.
is that if Biden wins, he's not going to be the president for long because he's probably going to fucking die.
Kamala Harris already has things intact. He's gonna die of a stroke in quotes, and she's actually just gonna like suffocate him with a pillow, and then she's gonna be president.
Yeah, didn't she like hate Biden like not that long ago?
No, she hates Biden. She like came out in the past saying how Biden's a racist and stuff, and now they're running.
Yeah.
Actual like
But then-
conference when they were when she was talking, she accidentally put her name first in the election thing. She was like in the Kamala Harris Biden campaign, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Foreshadowing.
It should be the other way around. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think Biden's gonna win, but everyone's talking about how it's gonna be a landslide in Biden's favor. But they were saying that about Hillary in 2016, and then Trump snuck a win in there, and like.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's going to be this. I think it's going to be around the same thing because I feel like with every single presidential debate or debate that happens, any person that watches Biden talk realizes that he isn't exactly fit to be the president.
Yeah, and Biden just went and lost.
I don't even care about the fact of his ideals or anything like that. His actual just mindset in general is not for being a president. Like,
he is not. The same thing about Trump though.
Honestly, did you listen to the Kanye West and Joe Rogan podcast? Kanye 2020.
Donald Trump literally acts like he doesn't have a filter. The dude definitely does not have a presidential mindset either.
Well, that's why people hate Trump.
I'm not saying that like he has a mental mindset either. I'm saying Biden literally doesn't have the mental capacity to do it. Like he has dementia, dude.
One of the crucial states, is Pennsylvania, and Biden just went and said that he's gonna take away a bunch of their jobs pretty much by getting rid of like fossil fuels and stuff and coal and mining, which Pennsylvania does a lot of. So he just lost that, and I think the more Biden speaks,
I think that's another thing that's gonna actually get him not elected is the fact that he wants to take away a lot of fossil fuels.
He wants to get rid of all fossil fuels.
Like, I don't think he fully realizes the amount of push and pull that every fossil fuel, oil, and like gas company has.
Are either of you guys able to vote?
No. Justice, I think you're like 14 days late.
It depends on when the actual election ends up happening, if they delay it or not. If they delay it, I'm more likely to. If they don't, then probably not.
I don't think so. It's like 4 days off.
Here's my take on it, though.
I know.
So, essentially, in my point of view, my perspective, they both seem like idiots. I don't think either of them are really a good representation of the country, and I don't feel good voting for either of them.
I'm not saying that either of them should win. I'm just saying that, like, since the overall fact that most of the time when elections happen, it's one of the two parties that gets elected. That's been, like, every time.
Right, but this is what it comes down to, though. So, on the surface, they both are awful. I don't feel good voting for either of them. So, what it comes down to is just their ideologies, because, in my opinion, they're both bad. They're both bad as base presidents, but the parties they represent are different, and their ideologies are different. So, obviously, you guys probably know I'm a libertarian, right? So,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
The fact that Biden
Me too.
has a lot of socialist ideas, and he just plans on raising taxes for the wealthy and putting more restrictions on businesses, my first choice is obviously Trump. I could vote for the libertarian candidate Jorgensen, but she's definitely not going to win, so this doesn't seem like it's worth it. So at this point in time, I'm thinking Trump purely because of the ideologies that Biden is pushing and the fact that he's.
Well, yeah, I feel like most people, it's like a lesser of two evils, which one
Right.
they vote for. It's not
And
either one is great.
I would vote on the actual president. I vote on the ideals based behind them because every person gets all like out of shape about a president getting elected because they think they're going to ruin the country, but
they're
no
not.
president can do that in 4 years. It's not possible. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you can say that Biden is going to get rid of all fossil fuels and everything, but even if you were elected, he's not going to be able to do that.
Right.
There's
The
still a
real
House and Senate.
My prediction is on election day, Trump is going to be winning because most of his people will go to the polls. But like the mail-in votings afterwards, vote, like there could have been so many better, like actual better candidates. He was just a more well-known person, and that's how he won. He was not.
another thing.
More raise the
Another-
one like libertarian candidate that you were talking about, Ray.
Yeah, Jorgensen. She's great.
Yeah.
She's
So like
if she had a chance of
Yeah.
winning, I would 100% vote for her. Like she's really good.
exactly.
She's literally
I would vote for her too, but I do think that that's a legitimate problem with the like
I know.
system that
The
we
two-party
have.
system.
I hope that this election and more elections like it help people realize that they don't have to vote for the two people that are considered bad,
It's really
and they can
unfortunate
start
because
trying to vote for a different person, because otherwise it's just never gonna happen.
Well,
Like,
how it would happen
like
is
having a third party win is next to zero.
well, yeah, but that's because right now all the interest groups and investors and businesses put their money into one of the two main candidates. So Jorgensen doesn't have the money to broadcast her opinion to everyone else. Because, like, you hear Trump speak and most people think he's a jackass. And you hear Biden speak and most people say, well, like, he's not fit mentally anymore. But you hear her speak and she's like politically correct when she speaks. She knows what she's talking about. She still has a brain on her. She's not losing it. She's not too old. She is a 10 times better candidate than either of those. Not based on her ideologies. That's like up to the person, but just like as like a person, she's a 10 times better candidate, but she hasn't been able to get out there because of her
what we
party.
really need is
Like I said, my thoughts on it is Biden will pull out through mail-in voting, but actual election night, I think Trump will be winning and it'll like make people shit their pants a little bit. Either
I'm
way,
touch
with
on it
the
after
climate the
yeah.
country is in right now, there's gonna be like riots by the losing team, pretty much.
I feel like you should probably start opening more things up, because one way or another, COVID's going to spread through the entire country. All that shutting everything down at this point, since it's already in the country, is just slowing how fast it's going to go.
The idea of slowing it though is to get a vaccine before.
Yeah, but it's still going to go through the entire thing. There's no way that we're going to actually get a full-ass vaccine with how slow that's going by the time that it gets to the entire country.
Well, there's always a hope that a vaccine is, and I think you should try to save every life you can, and that's why I feel like shutting the country down is the right thing to do.
Well, I'm not saying that shutting the country down was the wrong thing to do. I think that was the right thing to do at the time, but at this point, it's been quite a long time, and a lot of things need to start opening back up so society can still function after it goes through.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I feel like life over everything else is most important. So whatever you can to keep
Okay.
life.
I have to go now, guys.
Well, all right then. So
I'm gonna close this thing up.
this is the first
Well-
episode of your lunchtime podcast. Hope you enjoyed. You know, not a lot of it had to do with the title, I guess. So get clickbaited.